Ever pondered on the intriguing history of Cuba since its independence? Let's dive right in. Our story begins in the year 1902, when Cuba gained its independence from Spain, following the Spanish-American War. However, the newfound freedom did not mean complete autonomy. The United States, a key player in the war, began to exert a strong influence on the country, shaping its political and economic landscape. As the early 20th century unfolded, Cuba found itself at the crossroads of change. Enter 1959, a year of revolution led by none other than Fidel Castro. This revolution, which overthrew the government of Fulgencio Batista, marked the birth of a socialist regime in the country. This revolution marked a significant turn in Cuba's history, setting the stage for a period of profound change. Did you know that the Cold War shaped Cuba's subsequent history? Following the Cuban Revolution in 1959, Cuba formed a close alliance with the Soviet Union, marking a pivotal shift in the global political landscape. During this period, the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 became a defining moment, thrusting Cuba into the heart of tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Now, picture this: the fall of the Soviet bloc in the 1990s. It sent ripples across the world and had a profound impact on the Cuban economy, plunging the nation into a crisis known as the Special Period. This was a time of severe economic hardship for Cubans, as they grappled with food shortages and power blackouts. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. The Special Period also sparked a period of innovation and resilience. The Special Period was a time of great hardship, but it also forced Cuba to adapt and evolve. Are you curious about how Cuba's economy has fared in the last 20 years? Following the collapse of the Soviet Union, Cuba found itself in economic turmoil. With the loss of its primary economic support, the nation was left to navigate through a sea of difficulties. To combat this crisis, the 1990s saw Cuba implement a series of reforms, including a notable pivot towards embracing foreign tourism. Yet, an economic embargo imposed by the US since the 1960s continued to weigh heavy on the Cuban economy, stifling its growth potential. However, the tide began to turn in the 2000s. Cuba experienced a resurgence in its economy, partially fueled by the tourism sector and bolstered by strategic agreements with countries like Venezuela. In more recent years, efforts to modernize the economy and attract foreign investments have been evident. Despite these challenges, Cuba has shown signs of economic resilience and adaptation. Scene script: is Cuba a good investment option for the near future? Diving into the world of investment, Cuba presents both opportunities and challenges. The recent economic openness and reforms hint at a growing willingness to attract foreign investments. The country has been making strides towards modernizing its economy, which could potentially open up exciting avenues for investors. However, it's not all smooth sailing. The US embargo, a significant roadblock, continues to pose a considerable challenge. This long-standing economic blockade has limited Cuba's access to markets and resources, hampering its growth potential. Furthermore, political stability and global economic conditions remain vital factors in determining the viability of investments. While Cuba has enjoyed relative political stability, the global economic landscape is ever-changing, and investors need to stay on their toes. So, is Cuba a good investment option? Well, the answer isn't black and white. Investing in Cuba is a complex decision, requiring a careful consideration of both risks and opportunities. Have you ever dreamt of exploring the natural beauties of Cuba? Picture a land of diverse landscapes, where each corner reveals a new spectacle. Cuba's white sandy beaches, like the world-famous Varadero, are a paradise for sunseekers. The island nation is not just about coastal beauty. Venture inland to the Viñales region, and you'll be greeted by spellbinding landscapes of mogotes, karstic mountains that rise like giants from the valley floor. The marine life at the Bay of Pigs is another gem in Cuba's natural crown. Here, crystal-clear waters are teeming with vibrant marine life, a treat for divers and snorkelers. And let's not forget Havana, the capital city. A unique blend of colonial architecture and Caribbean charm. Havana's beauty is as much in its built environment as it is in its natural surroundings. Cuba is a captivating destination, rich in history, culture, and natural beauty, that continues to fascinate visitors from around the world.